Hello, Shrujana.
Yes, ma'am. I'm ready, ma'am.
Okay, I'm starting.
Okay, ma'am.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today is a very important day as we are commemorating the birth anniversary of Madam Curie and also Dr. C.V. Raman for their great contribution towards science. Now, I take this opportunity to welcome Dr. Chaganty Krishnakumari, former Associate Professor and Head Department of Chemistry, SC Women's College, Kottagudem, Telangana. Ma'am, we are very much lucky to have you and also we are blessed to listen to you. Now I invite Ms. Srujana, Assistant Professor in Department of Chemistry, to introduce the guest speaker to the participants.
Thank you, Jyoti, ma'am. Am I audible, ma'am? Yes,
You are
ma'am.
audible, Srujana.
Yeah, ma'am. Yeah,
You are
ma'am.
audible.
Okay, ma'am. Good afternoon, Krishnakumari, ma'am. This is Miss Sujna, Faculty, Forensic Science, RBVRR Women'S College. Good afternoon, one and all. I am so pleased to be with you all today. I deem it a great honor and privilege to introduce our speaker of this day, Dr. Chaganty Krishnakumari, ma'am, who is going to talk to us about the greatest chemists of all time. The empowered woman is powerful beyond measures and beyond beautiful beyond description. Ma'am has many qualifications to credit. Ma'am has done her PhD in chemistry. She has a distinguished career in teaching. She is an award winning professor and has 36 years of teaching experience. Ma'am is a former associate professor and also worked as head department of chemistry at Singareni Women's College, Kottagudem. Ma'am also served as a research assistant in Telugu Academy. She has presented many papers in national and international conferences as a member of Indian Council of Chemists, Indian Chemical Society, National Center for Science Communications, Indian Science Writers Association. Ma'am has published about 25 popular science articles. So far, Ma'am has contributed 31 scripts to radio science episodes and placed many columns in Telugu magazines. Ma'am is the author of the book entitled Science in Daily Life and also written 13 books published by National Book Trust, Kendra Sahitya Academy, Telangana Academy of Sciences, etc. This shows your zeal and enthusiasm towards science writings, ma'am. Ma'am is a member of Royal Society of Chemistry, London. Ma'am has given about 50 science lectures on different subjects in schools and colleges. Currently, ma'am is giving weekly talks on women scientists and innovators from Singapore Radio and contributing to a monthly e-magazine by name Vignan Vani. Coming to the achievements and awards, ma'am has received a fellowship from Baba Atomic Research Center and UGC. Ma'am has received prestigious Government Best Teacher Award in 1997. She has also received Jammi Sakuntala Award in 2008 as a popular science writer. Ma'am also received Best Paper Presentation Award from Indian Chemical Society and Indian Science Writers Association. Ma'am, behind your success, we are able to see your passion, dedication, and hard working. You are ever motivating and inspiring to every woman. With this brief intro, I would like to once again welcome you to enlighten the session and share your valuable views with our students, ma'am.
Good afternoon, everyone. I thank the principal, Dr. J. Achyuta Dev and Dr. Jeevana Jyoti, head of the Department of Chemistry, for inviting me to give a motivational talk today to commemorate the birth anniversary of Madam Curie, addressing postgraduate and the degree students. Thank you, dear Dr. Krishna, for introducing me to the students. Dear students, in this motivational talk, we will explore the question, who is the greatest chemist of all time? Graduate and postgraduate students will have the opportunity to share their perspectives on this topic and submit it to the head of the Department of Chemistry, Dr. Jyoti. Dr. Jyoti Madam has already given you the link of the playlist featuring inspirational women stories in my YouTube channel, namely at Chaganty Krishnakumari. Hope you have already watched some of them. You may include your reflections and analysis on those lady inventors too in your project report. We live in a competitive world. We often compare our achievements with those of our peers. This reflection not only helps us gauge our progress, but also serves us as a source of motivation for self-improvement. In November 2017, science journalist Kit Chapman conducted a poll on Twitter to identify the greatest chemist of all time. While curating the list of candidates, in addition to the chemistry's household names like Mendeleev, Faraday, he listed the other names based on their groundbreaking achievements, the scientific disciplines they established, the lasting impact of their inventions, and those who built scientific dynasty that echoed through ages. However, this task raised several questions, such as, can Louis Pasteur be classified as a chemist? Louis Pasteur, a French chemist, was one of the most important founders of medical microbiology. Additionally, some names faced criticism. For instance, Fritz Haber was suggested for exclusion from the list due to his controversial legacy as a father of chemical warfare. His role in deploying chlorine gas during First World War complicates his contributions to chemistry, despite his well-known Haber process for the synthesis of ammonia. Moreover, Chopin's list was criticized for overlooking female chemists. This brings to light the need for greater representation in discussions about scientific achievements. After careful consideration, Kit Chapman included names of chemists who excelled despite facing difficult environments. Thus, some female chemists were added to the list. Ultimately, 32 remarkable scientists were considered, including 5 women scientists. The 5 women scientists were Marie Curie, Dorothy Hodgkin, Irene Joliot-Curie, Mildred Dreyfus, and Rosalind Franklin. The 32 scientists were divided into pairs, each containing 4 chemists. You can see the mode of division in these tables. The final showdown was between Michael Faraday and Marie Curie, with Curie emerging victorious, receiving 72% of the votes. Over 6,320 people, that is scientists, participated in this poll over a span of 2 weeks. So, Curie met the criteria to define the great chemists of all time. I appeal to you to underline and highlight the fact that a lady scientist born in Warsaw, Poland, on 7th November 1867 to a secondary school teacher and died on July 4th, 1934 in France, won and was crowned in 2017 by today's scientists in a Twitter poll. So, Curie met the criteria to define the great chemists of all time. This Marie Curie's victory prompts us to reflect on her life and achievements. What factors contributed to her overwhelming success? All of you must be knowing about Marie Curie and her life. We are not going into every very detail of her research life or her personal life, but we will have a bird eye view to analyze what made her win the battle. That too by a landslide, that is 72% votes against 28 votes when 6,320 participated in voting. What are the criteria for getting 72 votes by Curie, keeping behind all other chemists? Number 1, her groundbreaking research was often conducted under challenging conditions. That is, then the laboratory conditions were very poor. Second, poisoning radioactivity. For their discovery of spontaneous radioactivity, Henry Becquerel was awarded half of the Nobel Prize in Physics in 1903, with the other half going to Perry and Marie Curie for their work on Becquerel radiation. Madam Curie coined the word radioactivity for this radiation. Number 3. The Curies became the first married couple to be awarded a Nobel Prize, establishing a legacy of 5 Nobel Prizes in their family. In July 1898, the Curies announced the discovery of new chemical element polonium, followed by radium later that year. Number 5. Marie Curie received her second Nobel Prize, this time in chemistry, in 1911. Number 6. An element was named after her, that is curium. Number 7. As a mother, she created a remarkable scientific legacy with her daughter Irene sharing a Nobel Prize with her husband in chemistry in 1935 for their discovery of artificial radioactivity. Number 8. Eve Curie authored her mother's biography, that is second daughter, Marie Curie's second daughter Eve, authored her mother's biography. Number 9. During First World War, she developed mobile X-ray machines that saved countless lives. Number 10. Throughout her life, she actively promoted the use of radium to alleviate suffering, training women to use X-ray equipment. Number 11. Curie was recognized during her lifetime. Number 12. Became the first female professor at the University of Paris. Marie Curie's personal journey was marked by resilience. Number 1. Before turning 11, she faced the loss of her mother and eldest sister. Despite this, she graduated high school with the highest honors at age 15. Afterwards, she struggled with a nervous illness, possibly, maybe, as we call in modern days, depression. Number 2. She worked as a governess in Poland to support her sister's education in Paris and to help fund her own education later. She was hired as a governess by the owner of a beet sugar factory. Kazimierz Jorowski, son of the owner of the beet sugar factory, fell in love with Mary. The two discussed marriage, but Jorowski's parents rejected Mary due to her family's poverty, and Kazimierz Jorowski was unable to oppose them. Nevertheless, their hopes of marriage continued until 1891, that is from her 17 years to 24 years of age, but it never happened. Jorowski could not convince his parents. In 1891, she moved to Paris to study physics and mathematics, where she met Marie Curie. They married within a year, united by their passion for science. The couple shared groundbreaking discoveries and a Nobel Prize. But tragedy struck in 1906 when Perry was killed in a road accident. Mary took over his teaching position, becoming the first woman to do so. In 1911, rumors spread that Curie was having an affair with the prominent physicist Paul Langevin, who had been Perry's student. Despite facing challenges, including public scrutiny regarding her personal life, Curie dedicated herself to her work and honored her husband's legacy by establishing a world-class laboratory. Sadly, she passed away in 1934. As a grandmother also, she created a remarkable scientific legacy. In response to her family's legacy, daughter of Irene Joliot-Curie, Langevin-Joliot, a nuclear physicist, regularly grants interviews and gives talks about their history. She wrote a book also titled The Introduction to Radiation and Modern Life, Fulfilling Marie Curie's Dream, including a brief history of the Curies. Dear students, having gone through briefly the tragic and victorious events happened in the life of Madam Curie, record your own reflections in your project report and submit it to the concerned faculty under Curie Club activity. By the way, do you find any famous Indian scientists in the list? Read about famous Indian chemists and their contributions too. I also suggest you to read the book Nobel Prize Women in Science, Their Lives, Struggles and Momentous Discoveries. And also watch videos on inspirational women's stories and their Nobel Prize winning discoveries in my channel, namely at Chaganty Krishnakumari. Marie Curie's story is not just one of scientific achievement, but also of profound resilience and commitment. She remains a source of inspiration for future generations. Thank you.
Girls, actually, we have made 3 videos. Uh, would you like to give your opinion about those 3 videos and also today's lecture? Unmute yourself. You tell your name, the section, and then you can give your feedback.
Good afternoon, ma'am. This is Sindhuja, pursuing first year in chemistry, ma'am. And I just got away. Like I would thank you for giving us an overall view of her research life and her immense interest in the field of research, ma'am. And also on this occasion of 154th birth anniversary of Marie Curie, a two-time Nobel laureate, Marie Curie is remembered for discovering the radium and the polonium, as well as for her contribution to medical science. But whenever I just got aware of this, like whenever she had discovered these elements like radium and the polonium, no one know that it would prove useful in the hospitals. But if we take the present scenario, this radium is useful in the treatment of cancer, which in turn saving many lives of human. Thank you so much for availing us by your lecture, ma'am.
Yeah, next student.
Good afternoon, ma'am. My name is Krishna Tejashwi and I'm from MSc first year organic chemistry. Thank you, ma'am, for giving us such an awareness about Madam Curie and her personal life. We actually didn't know that she faced so much struggle, and even in spite of that, she have achieved so much, giving such an inspiration and standing as an achievement for us. And it is really an inspiring lifetime for us to get us motivation and make ourselves into turning ourselves into something and achieving in our life. And thank you, ma'am, for the presentation.
Girls, you can unmute and give your opinion. Like what is the analysis you have made after listening to this lecture? Also, you can share.
Ma'am, it is really the inspirational story to the students, ma'am, to the present generation, to achieve anything in the science field. And we can say that the story itself is indicating that it is motivational, and we can go to any field by the hard work and dedication only. We can see those qualities in the Curie madam. And their book is also very knowledgeable, ma'am. Thank you for suggesting that book, ma'am. And nice presentation. Thank you.
Anyone from UG? Girls, if you are comfortable in Telugu, also you can speak.
Ma'am, I am from UG final year, ma'am.
Yes, Deepika, I know. Other sections. We can interact with madam. Any other student wants to talk, you can unmute. Srujana, if no one is there, you just share your screen and continue the program.
Okay, ma'am.
You just announce once.
Okay, ma'am. Girls, anyone from the participants are there to share your views or your opinions or any queries? Girls, please feel free to share your opinions. Or if you have any queries, you can ask ma'am.
And girls, you need to submit a report, project report on the videos which you are going to watch. And I think some of you have already watched. So write your like a report form. There is no particular format. Whatever you feel regarding, like after listening to the stories of the great scientists, what you feel and what you get from that analysis. In that way, you can write the report and submit to your concerned faculty. So this is the project work for this particular activity. Yeah, Sujana, you can continue.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, this is a small token of gratitude from Department of Chemistry and Forensic Science, ma'am. Thank you so much. Please accept this certificate of appreciation for delivering a very inspiring and motivational lecture on the greatest chemist of all time, ma'am.
So thank you all. Thank you, Jeevana Jyoti and the Principal Chitta Devi Garu. Thank you all for inviting me for this motivational lecture as a speaker today. Thank you all.
Srijana, you can continue.
Okay, ma'am. Now I would like to invite Miss Nagarani, Faculty Chemistry from Department of Chemistry and Forensic Science, to propose a formal vote of thanks to our guest speaker.
Thank you, Srijana. Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, Nagarani.
Yeah. Good evening to one and all. I, N. Nagarani, faculty from Department of Chemistry and Forensic Science, would like to take this opportunity to propose vote of thanks on this occasion. First and foremost, I would like to thank today's guest speaker, Dr. Chaganty Krishnakumari ma'am, for accepting our invitation and sparing her time with us today for her motivational talk on the greatest chemist of all time to commemorate birth anniversary of Madam Curie, organized by Department of Chemistry and Forensic Science. Thank you very much, ma'am, for spending your valuable time with us. Ma'am, you have highlighted the contribution of various scientists to the science, and you explained in detail about of Madam Curie professional as well as personal life. And you have also talked about polonium discovery by Madam Curie, and you have also suggested us a book by name of Nobel Prize Women in Science. Thank you very much, ma'am, for being with us today. Now I would like to thank convey my sincere thanks to Professor Mutyam Reddy sir, Secretary HMVS, and Professor Sudarshan Reddy sir, Secretary and Correspondent of RBVRR Women's College. And I would like to thank RBVRR Women's College Management and Principal Dr. Achita Devi ma'am for her constant motivation. I would also like to thank our beloved HOD ma'am for her constant support and for organizing such wonderful events for students as well as for the faculty. I would like to extend my thanks to all the faculty of RBVR Women's College and faculty of Department of Chemistry and Forensic Science. Last but not the least, I would like to thank all the audience and the students for their constant patient for being a patient audience and for attending this event and making it a grand success. Thank you, one and all.
And I also thank all the students who have spent 1 hour time on Sunday. Thank you so much. Madam, you are on mute, ma'am. You can unmute and.
Thank you. I really enjoyed with you all today in this evening. Thank you all once again.